Back, good morning, San Diego. With the second Trump administration, will we see an economic boom? What can we expect from the coming year as it relates to unemployment numbers and housing prices? Joining us now to weigh in on that and to predict the future. Look into the crystal ball of the economy of 2025 is financial expert Gary London from London Motor Advisors.
Good morning.
Hey, tell us what your company does.
So we are real estate economists. We advise developers and investors and sometimes public agencies in all things having to do with real estate and land use.
All right, so that's deep water.
Yeah.
Because that means there's money involved, right? So what you have to say in your outlook is very important. But you're also part of this conglomerate of Ecometer panel of business leaders and economists who are making predictions for 25.
Yeah, this is something that I've been participating in for over a decade. The Union Tribune has over about a dozen people that weigh in on the great economic issues of our time and solicit our opinions.
And there are world events that you can't predict, that there are things that are going to happen that you have no idea about that could change all the predictions. But basically, what are you looking at as far as when you're going to put pen to paper, what are the things that you look at that influence your opinion?
Well, I look at my own perspective, first of all, and I talk to my partners, clients, business associates, but I also look at what the media is reporting, what other economists are talking about, and I try to make sense of it all.
But I mean, is that geopolitical events? Is that the price of oil? What is all those things?
It's all of those things. When they ask us to predict this time of year for the coming year, we're looking at all things that matter economically. Housing is my primary bag, but we look at the regional economy, the national economy, the local economy, oil, stock prices, GDP, all the things that sort of matter to all of us every day.
Well, let's go into your wheelhouse then, because everybody here certainly in San Diego and probably in the state of California, say, man, it is an expensive place to buy a home.
Yeah.
Will it in my lifetime, will that statement ever leave my mouth? Will I say, hey, now it's affordable?
Well, probably not on a real perspective. You know, housing prices are going to continue to increase in value, perhaps this year not as fast a pace as in previous years, but we have a shortage of housing, and the laws of supply and demand sort of dictate that. That means that prices of housing is going to continually be bid up. It also depends on where you are demographically. You know, if you're younger, it's much more difficult to get into the housing market to purchase a home than if you're older and you already have a home that you can trade up. So those are sort of big issues in our region right now.
So in your view, the arrow's pointing up as far as what it's going to cost to buy a home?
In the long term, housing prices have always gone up. We cycle. We go a little bit down, we go up. This will be a year where I think housing prices are not going to increase very significantly, primarily because interest rates are not really going to come down.
Yeah, I haven't been on that downward part of the roller coaster for a while, though. It seems like it's been a rocket ride up.
Well, every peak of a cycle is, in terms of prices, is higher than the previous peak. In between, we sometimes go down. But in San Diego County, and for that matter, all of Southern California, all the California coast, housing prices have, for the most part, gone up.
All right. Well, the other key issue is employment. I mean, because if you have a good paying job, maybe the housing prices aren't as big of a pain in your backside or pain in your wallet.
Well,
so how's that looking in 2025?
Yeah, I mean, employment levels are in pretty good shape. I should say unemployment levels are fairly stable right now. I'm predicting, and most of the economists are predicting, that unemployment levels are going to stay about where they are, which is okay. Wages have been up over the past couple of years, but not up high enough to meet the needs of an important part of our market, which is, you know, younger people raising families. That's where the bite is in our economy.
Yeah, because to me, the unemployment number is secondary to the wage number almost. I mean, sure, you can have a job, but if it doesn't make the nut every month, then well, what good is that?
And we were talking about housing just now. That gap between wages and housing remains very high, and that's an economic dilemma for our region.
So if I gave you a Harry Potter wand and you could wave it, what's one thing is it the tax structure in the state? What would you change to make it a more affordable place to live?
Well, I would loosen the laws so that we can create density. and density allows us to get more housing. One thing that I'd like to see change, and I'm working on it for this year, is to get the minimum lot sizes in San Diego changed from a minimum of 5,000 square feet to 1,000 square feet, which would enable townhomes and row homes, higher density homes for young families.
People, the pushback is going to be, I don't have to tell you about the pushback.
Well, in my business, pushback is the deal.
Yeah.
But we are transitioning as a regional economy and as a market. We're becoming denser, bigger markets, so it's necessary.
And just as we wrap this up, at the end of the day, when whoever hits it the closest, you have to buy the drinks, or it's like a hole-in-one in golf, or whichever eco-meter is most accurate?
It's mostly buy the drinks. It's an ego thing. Right. And for the record, I've never won.
All right, hey, thanks for rolling in, okay? I appreciate the early wake-up call.